Assalamu alaikum YouTube. Well, today I'm going to show you the unboxing of my new HPI Vorza brushless 1/8 scale 4-wheel drive buggy. Well, this is a spectacular buggy. I have been using it for 1 year now. This is my third RC. Before that I had used the HPI Trophy Flux, and then I purchased the Vorza, and I was so fascinated, so impressed by the quality and the durability of this car that I again bought it. So let's proceed by opening it up, and the moment of truth and the joy of opening a brand new package sealed by the factory. Man, this is a strong seal. Well, it's good enough that you will come to know that it has been opened or not. And here I go. Well, here we go. And wow, just the way it should be. You have the warranty card, the instruction manuals, the optional parts list, some extra speakers, the antenna rod, and that's your buggy inside. The wing obviously comes unmounted. Here's the car itself. Wow, here it is, unscratched, untouched, brand new. Well, just like the first car, the pins holding the body are very strong, and they're not easy to pull apart, so I had to get a plier. Here it is. In fact, I changed these pins. Here it comes off. It's not easy to pull them apart with your bare hands if you're playing out in the field. So I changed them to the bigger ones, which have a much better shape so that you can remove them easily. And here comes the inside. Wow, see the look of a brand new HPI Vorza buggy. The best part of this is it has a very sturdy built design. The A-arms are very strong. As far as I have played with this car, the shocks have been holding up pretty well. Everything has been going very well. The only thing I would suggest new guys who are going to buy this, since I have played a lot with this vehicle, so I have a pretty good experience of all the parts that wear out quickly and you need to change them or they break often. So first and foremost, the most important thing is the motor. The bearing is, I would say, crap. It will just melt away, the balls will just come out and they will stick to the magnets and they will break the magnet. I destroyed a motor, in fact. So first thing that you should do right away is put a very best quality bearing inside. The size is 5 ID, 16 OD, and the thickness is 5. And I prefer you put the ceramic ball bearings. And then the second most important thing that you should change or upgrade are these shafts. The original ones from HPI, they should do something about changing the design of these shafts, because the culprit is the pin inside. There's basically held up with a grub screw, and what happens is when you run it on 6S, the pin comes out, or even sometimes it just melts away and breaks off. So the wheel starts spinning freely, and then you are left with nothing to do. And the best way, I would say, to what I have figured out after trying different combinations of these shafts, there is a model by Redcat which has this hub covered with a collar, so it doesn't let the pin come out. And recently I have seen the Hot Bodies E817, even that has the same style of the shaft. The hub is covered with a collar, but I'm not sure if the shaft length is same and it would fit the Vorza as well or not. And the other one is, I tried the Integy shaft. Integy Apache has the same parts for Vorza, and I tried their shaft. Well, the shaft broke on second day of running, but the design of their hub is very well. The pins have been retained inside with a ring outside the hub that in fact catches the pin and keeps it inside. So what I have done is, the Redcat shafts are good, but the hub sometimes breaks itself off. So I have taken the shaft of the Redcat and the hub of Integy and made a good combination in my previous Vorza, and that's going very well in fact. And then the third most important thing is the servo. If you are going to bash around really hard and you are going to make some jumps, then this servo will not hold up. The plastic A-arm, it will lose its thread and eventually come off. You have to put an aluminium servo horn then. And when you put the aluminium servo horn, then the entire force will get transferred to the servo itself. And the original, the stock servo from the factory is not good enough. It will eventually lose its gears. So I upgraded the servo to Savox. I could not find the titanium gear version, but my local hobby shop, he suggested me, he in fact gave me the Savox 1-2, I don't remember the model in fact, but it was steel gear and I think more than 25 kg capacity. So that's going pretty well. And the other thing, so I told you about the motor, the shafts, the servo, and rest the car is pretty much fine. There is nothing much. The battery tray, if you are using a heavier battery like the 6 cell, and if you make considerable big jumps, then you might break this front wall, plastic wall, it starts breaking. And what I have done is I have put a cable tie around here so that it gives an extra strength to it. And the ESC is good, it doesn't heat up. In fact, when my motor lost its bearing, I kept on pulling the trigger unknowingly that something has happened. So the Dean's plug, they melted, the motor got very hot, but nothing happened to the ESC or the plugs. The battery plugs in fact melted and I just replaced them. So I survived. The car survived in fact. One more thing is you can put the mud guards at the back so that you don't get the rust on these pins, these chrome, what do you call them, the rods. Camber, for adjusting the camber. Believe me, the factory settings are great, you don't need to do anything much. And this review, the review that I have done is after playing with this car for about a year. The tires are good, off-road tires, they have a good grip. Don't run them on the road because they will wear out very quickly. And I have tried different tires combinations, but trust me, the tires that you get with this car, they will never come off. They will never lose the grip from the rim. But all those tires that I have tried, Proline Badlands, Duratrax Lockup C2, something like that, and one other brand, and I was disappointed to see that the tire, they started to come off from the rim, and you have to re-glue them. But these stock tires, they will hold up. They will hold up pretty well. So keep them for off-road use, and for on-road buy some spare tires, and they will last. They will last a long time with you, and you don't need to buy any other off-road tires. And with the other off-road tires like that, like I told you, sorry, about the Prolines, I am still gluing them. And coming to the rear diff, one more thing. This body mount holder, this will break very soon. So you have a good option that you can, what I did was I just passed a screw from here till here, and it is holding on pretty well. And if you are making big jumps and you somehow land the buggy this way, you might be putting a lot of force on this wing mount, and it will eventually either break or slowly it will start bending the shock tower as well. Regarding the front, it's pretty well. And so for the front, I suggest you buy this T-Bone Racing bumper that you can put in the front. And what that does is that it will give you a great, you can say, protection from jumps and the terrain below. And put this bumper, you will be actually increasing the forces on the front differential case. This is the one that is basically holding both these two tires. In fact, all the forces they get transferred to this differential case. This, when you install the bumper as well, and ultimately the screws, the 4 screws that are holding this diff case will be stressing the diff case a lot, and since it's plastic, the holes eventually lose their strength. So what I did was, there is another upgrade. It's there is a differential case from Integy. You get the aluminium version, and if you replace this plastic one with the aluminium one, that's a pretty good idea, because this will keep on holding it well. And when you put this bumper on, you have to put the longer screws that come with it, so they will grip, and you don't have any fear of stripping the screws or stripping the threads inside the differential case, since it's already aluminium. So they hold very well. And now let's open the remote. Remote is standard, it's pretty well. Here it goes. Oh, what has happened to this box? I think, how can I open this? Wait, let's use this one. No problem. Here is the remote. I hope it's not damaged. No, it's a pretty big box. Here is the basic tool set. You get this remote. It's pretty standard, but it works well. The control is good. You might need to adjust the throttle trim, so your throttle control will be much more smoother. So there are no batteries in this one. In fact, yeah, they didn't give the battery. They don't give the battery actually. This is a pretty basic tool set. They have these Allen keys, hex keys. The cross wrench, on my previous Vorza, this got worn out very quickly. And these are the spares. There is, I think, 1 nut for each type, something. And you don't need to use them. You will not feel the need to use them. That's it. I would highly recommend this buggy, and as compared to other brands like the Traxxas and everything, and other models of HPI as well, this holds up very well. It's a good investment. It will last long. And just make these few upgrades: the motor bearings, the differential case, the front shafts, and that's it. It will last. It will last very well. And so it will last pretty well. The wing is okay, and if you bash a lot and the car lands basically upside down, so it will basically stress the wing from the sides, and it will break off from here. So for that, what I did was, I in fact cut this piece off from here and from here, so that the wing becomes more flexible from this plate. So even if it lands upside down, this will just flex. Otherwise, this will flex in this way and keep breaking the wing. I in fact changed 3 wings on this, or you can use the alternate aftermarket wings, Pro lines and everything. There are many brands. So that's it, folks. The remote, as I told you, is pretty basic but good. And as compared to the other HPI buggies, like I'm talking about the electric version that I purchased initially, the HPI Trophy Flux, believe me, it's not worth the buck. I had to sell it off to buy this, and it's not worth keeping it. Remember, thank you. So thank you, YouTube. Have a nice time. Remember me in your prayers. And if you have any questions regarding this buggy, do let me know. And I highly recommend it. Just make these upgrades, as I told you, and have fun and play safe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.